It does look a little strange, but I'm not quite feeling it the same way that you are right now. I think I need to look at it longer. Sporks is also weird then. What? I'm just going to keep mine going, so just start yours back up and then we'll just do another countdown.
Okay, I started it back up. Oh, you hate to see it.
Okay, let's just do...
That's okay. So far, it was really just me talking about how weird the word sports looks and calling us gal pals.
Good old gal pals.
I wonder when it stopped. Huh. You hate to see it.
Let's do another quick 3, 2, 1 clap just to make sure I can line it up later.
Okay, ready? 3,
Okay.
2, 1, clap.
Okay, I think that was pretty fucking on par. I think we got that exact.
Hell yeah.
Which means I should just be able to like fucking line that shit up. Oh, it's so great.
Especially with the clap, because the clap is like just one straight vertical line and the audio track.
Yeah.
So you can literally see exactly when there's a clap.
Oh, that's so satisfying. Oh.
Yeah, it really is.
Oh, editing. Oh. Anyways. Welcome to the Cryptonics podcast, hosted by Phlog and Circeanic. Music is by Kevin MacLeod at acompatech.com. Let me just share something with you. Okay, so I sent you a link. There's stuff below it.
Do I open it, or is it gonna be spoilers?
You can open it because I've put anything that would be spoilers. I've just made the text white so that you can see it. Oh. And then, like, when we get to that part...
Oh, smart.
When we get to that part, I'll just, like, uncover it, you know? Like...
Wait.
Like magic.
Oh my god, that's like invisible ink.
Yeah, like magic!
Oh my god, that's so cool. I really like that.
This week, we are going to figure out if birds are real. I have information on the conspiracy itself, which sells a lot of merchandise, and I have some examples of some birds that are actually potentially spying on us and some other animals, and how animals are being used for, you know, that kind of stuff. That I feel like
for
that
treachery.
I feel like I that intro was very scattered and all over the place, but hopefully...
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
It wasn't. Take all your self-esteem, like, stuff, and take your unease and put it all in a ball and then throw it out the window. Because you're doing great, kid.
Okay, thank you. That's very reassuring, actually.
Was it okay? It started out and I was like, wait, this sounds really condescending, but I'm too far in and I can't stop now.
No, you're good. You know what? I'm stoned enough that even if I might have thought it was condescending, I have the best intentions when I'm stoned, so you're good.
That just reminded me of a song. Okay, do you know what I was listening to last night? Songs from Repo the Genetic Opera.
Oh my god. We could turn this entire episode into us singing that.
Straight up we could, dude. I was fawning over Anthony Head and how much I love him. Mm-hmm. And then last night when I was thinking about him with other people, so it's not like I was alone or doing anything weird.
Yeah, all right.
At that time.
All right.
And so, at that time. So, I listened to one of the songs from it. So just now when you said that you had the best intentions, it reminded me of, like, the song with Anthony Head where he's like, and I raise shallow with the best intentions.
Oh my god.
And that's all I could think of.
Dude, I was so into The Grave Robber when I was in high school. Oh my god.
Yeah, by the way, I was not into Grave Robber, but now I just re-listened to the song Grave Robber or like Zydrate Anatomy too. And I have grown an attraction. So we've now reversed. You were super into him. Now it's me. It's that baritone voice, dude. It has an effect on women, I swear.
Yes.
He's like his voice is, he's a vocal vibrator. That's what does it, dude.
That is amazing. Why. That is amazing. I love that.
But that's why. It's totally why. It's legit, confirmed, scientifically proven by me.
Yep.
Not like by me, but like by my words. I've confirmed it with my spoken.
I will co-confirm that also with my words. Because it's yep.
It is. Like, totally is, dude. Thanks, Grave Robber.
Now I really want to watch
try a Shiloh cosplay or something before Halloween.
Oh, that would be super fun. She has some good outfits in that movie.
She has some good outfits, but also I'm poor.
I mean, I feel like so was the costume department potentially for that movie, because if I remember, her hair was not the best.
It was a definite wig. Well,
it was a wig. Right, it was a wig in the show. Oh, fuck.
I always forget that's like in the actual movie.
Never mind. Okay. See, but I have bad flashbacks to She's All That, which she has some really fucking terrible extensions in that movie. I don't know if you've seen She's All That.
No, I haven't. Okay. But also, it makes me think of that one song that I actually hate from that movie, which is one of her songs, where she's like, it's like that one punk song in the movie,
where she's being all like edgy,
acting out, and super edgy. I hate it.
My teenage self fucking that song though, so
I fucking hate it.
It will have a special place in my heart, but I'm gonna have to edit this part out of the podcast because I can't admit it to anybody else.
No, if you're gonna keep me saying I hate it, I'll just like beep over it. Just like beep over like some of the words to make it sound like you're agreeing that you hate it instead of saying you like it.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Where the fuck did I leave off in my notes? Okay, so I think by the end of this podcast, we'll be able to definitively say whether or not birds are real.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know anything about it, but I think so.
We'll see. We'll see what your thoughts are once we get through everything.
It's going to be interesting for me because I have friends who have birds as pets. And I have a raven tattoo. So I have a bird literally imprinted onto my body forever.
Oh, we got some cool shit about ravens and crows in this podcast,
Let's fucking go, dude.
It's after we get past the actual conspiracy stuff, but I found some pretty dope shit.
I'm here for it.
Okay, so let's talk about this conspiracy to start off with. So this conspiracy was created by this 20-year-old dude named Peter McKindo?
McKindo?
MCINDO.
Oh, what a name.
McKindo. There's no
That's
A.
Actually a fucking cool name.
I almost want to say Macindo, but like there's no A, so I don't.
I like McKindo way more.
I have no idea if that's right. I
literally don't care what his actual name is now. It's that.
All right, Peter McKindo. That's who he is. An English and philosophy major at the University of Memphis in Tennessee. So he's like the guy, if you search this up on YouTube and see like interviews, I'm pretty sure that's the same guy. Actually, no, that is the same guy.
He's like the guy.
Yeah.
Kind of like, who's the actor that believes in Scientology?
Tom Cruise. Yeah.
It's like Tom Cruise is like the face of Scientology. McKindo's the face of Birds Aren't Real. Right?
Are you saying that he is Birds Aren't Real Tom Cruise then?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the Tom Cruise of Birds Aren't Real. He can now start referring to himself as Tom Cruise. You're welcome, Mr. McKindo. I gave you a name and a legacy.
We've like knighted him basically as Tom Cruise.
Yeah, basically.
So and the website, the domain birdsaren'treal.com, it looks like it was registered in 2017. So it's a fairly new.
So it's new.
It's a fairly new either conspiracy or discovery.
So it may not even be his conspiracy. He could be backpacking off of another conspiracy and taking it as his own.
To be fair, on the website, that is kind of what it says. That this was a movement that started earlier. Not that I could ever find anything about that, but I think as we go through this, maybe in my notes.
Or that could be him just gaslighting everyone that reads it and just saying like, this wasn't made by me. Listen, if you think it's extreme, this isn't me. Someone else did it. I'm just putting the information out there. Yeah.
But let's go into what the conspiracy actually is. I mean, if you go to the website, you can read through a little bit about the history. Oh, I just realized, can you hear my mouse when I scroll? Is that really loud?
I would just time your scrolls with when you're not speaking, just in case it's loud on your microphone on your recording.
Well, my mouse actually has 2 different presets, so I can click a button and it will go to like a softer, fast scroll.
Do you have the 502?
I have the
Do you have a
Logitech.
Logitech?
Yeah, G502. Yeah.
Yeah, mouse twins. You like that I just knew that off of the information about the scroll wheel? In case you're wondering how much of a fucking Logitech fangirl I am, I knew exactly what model and brand your mouse was based off of the scroll information you just gave me.
Hello, Logitech. Please sponsor this podcast. Logitech.
Or just me as a human. Anyways, now that I sound like a Logitech employee.
please sponsor Phlog. Yeah, so the conspiracy, they claim that it was first discovered like a long time ago, actually. Not a long time ago, in the 80s, I guess.
But like time ago.
And on their website and their YouTube page, they have an advert that, I mean, I'm not going to say it looks like it was filmed now and put with a filter over top of it, but you can come to your own conclusions, I guess, if you go and watch it.
Just like a sepia filter on top of it, dude.
I mean, I don't know if I have it linked in the links that I sent you. Yeah, here. Like, it looks like it could be a VHS, obviously.
Oh, the top one?
Yeah, Birds Aren't Real 1987.
It's the scene where he's standing in front of a sign that says birds aren't real. It's like 26 seconds in. That's where it definitely looks like recent. Like, it looks like they put a set together.
Yeah,
and
right?
like his glasses look modern. Everything about it looks like decently modern, except for the background.
His glasses...
And even then the printing looks like too clean. I don't know, man.
Yeah, no, dude, I'm with you. His glasses look like transitions. They looked a little bit darker on his face.
But they look like a modern transition. Like, that frame is totally not of that time.
No, it looks basically like a regular plastic frame that you would find nowadays.
New conspiracy. Birds Aren't Real didn't start in 1987. Started in recent years, in 2017-ish, with this website. But they filmed their movies to look like it was back in 87 to try and give some, like, validation to it. That, oh, if this has been a movement since 87, there's gotta be some truth to it. No, I'm onto you. This is only 3 years old. Your conspiracy isn't old.
I mean, and just looking at the website itself, it's very just focused on selling merch. And I'm pretty positive this dude is just a troll. And he's just doing it too. I don't know. I guess...
Well, I'm here to enjoy it.
I guess there's some argument to be made that making fun of conspiracies is definitely its own form of activism. But when you're going that ham on selling $25 t-shirts, I don't know.
I mean,
I guess there is some cool
I know
art.
of some forms of content creation where they talk about conspiracy theories.
That's true. I'm just...
Anyway,
I'm getting distracted, actually, because some of these t-shirts are kind of cool on their site. But, like, that doesn't detract from my point, right?
Tie-dye?
Yeah.
Oh, the Birds Aren't Real tie-dye dark blue sweater. I'm not gonna lie. I would not ironically wear this merch.
Do they have any information about, like,
oh my
who makes
God,
the art?
I'm in love with this. Please look at this. It is like a dark blue and medium blue tie-dye hoodie that says nice and neatly in the center, Birds Aren't Real. If someone got these for me as a gift, I would not ironically wear them. Straight up. I would. 10 out of 10.
Okay, another really great thing to come out of the Birds Aren't Real, though, is the birds work for the bourgeoisie, and that is one of my favorite memes ever. I love that so much. I can't remember...
Go to their long sleeves. Go to the long sleeves and look at the I Am a Lie shirt.
I am a lie.
It's literally just a picture of a pigeon, and underneath it just says, I am a lie, in all caps with it underlined. Oh my God.
To be fair, out of all of the birds that could potentially be fake spies, pigeons are definitely
pigeons
the top.
Are totally liars. They're spies. They work for the FBI for sure.
100%.
I don't even know the theory. Haven't heard it at all. Know nothing about it. Pigeons work for the FBI.
Okay, so we can at least confirm that whether or not they're real, they're government agents, 100%.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
Okay.
They literally look like they carry briefcases. Like, I could see in my mind's eye, I could see a pigeon with one of those, like, business hats from back in the day and a briefcase and, like, a pigeon trench coat. I could see it, like, viscerally. I could see it. I could touch that. It's so real.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it could be real for all we know. They just might hide their little briefcases. Anyways, okay. My first question in my notes was going to be, have you ever had any weird experiences where you're like, what the fuck? That bird knows something about me.
There's a bird in our town that's weird.
Ooh, really?
Do you remember?
I'm trying to remember.
I think I didn't go to middle school with you, right? No.
No,
so maybe you wouldn't have encountered this bird, but in our town where we went to school together, there's like this crow that straight up sounds like, you know those old like Poochie toys where it's like the dogs that bark, the little robot dogs that bark, where it goes like bark bark. It's like a crow that does like that sound. It straight up sounds fake. It sounds like a toy.
What the fuck? That's creepy.
Yes. It would go like burr, burr. Let me see if I can find like a video of that sound.
That's creepy. I don't remember that.
Okay, so skip like partway through this video and just listen to the actual barking sounds. And it sounds pretty similar to that, but like louder.
Oh my god, I want one of these again so badly. Even though
me too, dude.
Mine like crapped out after a certain amount of time.
Dude, do you remember Furbies? I straight up want a Furby. I wanted to listen to exactly what I say on stream. Like I want to have it on all stream. So it just hears me saying like the weirdest shit that I do.
Yep.
And then I want to see how its vocabulary changes based off of how I am when I stream. And then I wanted to be able to talk to chat.
That would totally be what happens because Furbies 100% learn from how you talk. So
yeah, exactly. So I want to know like what shit it would start to say and what shit it would start to come up with based off of what it hears. And then for like chat to be able to like basically talk to it.
That sounds amazing, and I would 100% think that you should do that.
Yeah, but I'm assuming Furbies are, like, real hard to find and real expensive.
No, so, dude, there's a market. There's a market for Furbies because people make long Furbs.
What?
So, okay, hold on. I need to look this up for you, then. So just go here, and you can just click on whichever one feels right to you.
Meet the long Furbs
Walter is my favorite, I think, because he's not quite a long Furb in the traditional sense.
What the fuck? When you said long Furbs, I thought Furbies with long hair. I didn't think Furbies that were just really long in length, dude.
No. Yeah.
Fucking Ollie is a tube. Ollie's like straight up, you could float down a river on Ollie.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
So there's a market for Furbies. I don't think they're actually gonna be as expensive maybe as you think. Where did we leave off? Oh yeah, we were talking about weird birds and then we got sidetracked by something. So
yeah,
I don't know if I would necessarily remember that bird. It might have just been because we went to different middle schools. So
it hung out a lot in like my elementary school and my middle school area. It sounds fucking wild. It sounds like a Poochie. Like, it doesn't sound like a crow. And it's like one crow, and it always actively hung out in the schools. But, like, I remember hearing it around constantly. Like, I would walk to fucking Dairy Queen and hear it. Like, walk to the mall, and I would hear him sometimes. Like, it was everywhere.
Oh, my God.
Maybe I was being stalked by a bird. Whatever. I don't know. It was a weird fucking bird.
Dude, crows can hold grudges. Maybe this one, like, fell in love with you.
I would love that. Like, I know that that's weird, and that I would love a crow to be in love with me, but are you fucking kidding me? That is the making of every D&D character. Hello? Like, of any anime character, too.
Yep.
A bird falls in love with you? Hi, I'm fucking scuffed... What's her name? Snow White, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like the scuffed, edgy Snow White. I'm the e-girl Snow White.
Yep.
Instead of fucking little tiny sparrows, I have a fucking crow. Let's go.
Oh. Sorry, I had to burp.
Nice. That one was wet.
It was a little bit, yeah. It's because I almost wasn't gonna release it.
Do it?
Yeah. I have such a reflex
like
to hold
Kraken.
it in. So I then last minute decided to let it loose, but it was gross by then.
And then you really started talking with me, and then you hear the amount of times I definitely don't.
I know. I'm trying to get better at it, though, because even Riley makes fun of me for not burping as much. So, you know.
Yeah, I've been getting memed on for weak burps recently, so I belched a whole sentence today just to make sure that, like, my dominance was exerted, and no one made a single comment. So I don't know if that speaks to more of my character or their character.
You know what? It doesn't really matter. It's good company.
Porco no los dos. Other than that, like, there's been times where there's, like, a murder of crows. A lot of my experience comes down to I see a lot of crows, and I've had a lot of run-ins with crows, basically, but always positive, like never negative. I've never had like, damn you, crows. Never.
Yeah. Like crow tracks when people get attacked.
Yeah. Oh, what?
Have you been on crow tracks?
No.
Well, let me look up the website. So, it's a website that you can go on if you've been attacked by a crow. And you can, like, document where you were and what you were doing.
Show us on the website where the crow touched you.
So you can just, like, see where a crow attack has happened. So, like, this one... Oh, and apparently there's an aggressiveness scale, too.
Whoa, dude. There's some here.
Yeah.
None in my city. We got good crows, dude. My city's clean, dude. We don't have... Our crows don't want to fight you. They just want to chill with you. We got chill crows next city over, though, or like a couple cities over or whatever.
Yeah.
Can't say the same for them.
And I mean, I've never had a negative experience with a crow, but I don't fuck with crows.
Yeah.
Like, I just let them live their lives. I don't give them dirty looks.
I fuck with them, kind of. Like, I didn't fuck with them in like a bad way, but I would like talk to them.
Oh yeah. I would fuck with them in that way.
I would like... Yeah,
I would be
like,
their friend.
Straight up, there'd be crows, like, up on the power lines or whatever, or some shit. Sometimes when I was walking home from school alone, we're kids, I would, like, just talk to the crows about my day. It was nice. And then, like, if I ever see them, like, on a sidewalk, I'm like, hey, guy, you want... I, like, talk to them. I, like, invite them to move, ask if I'm in the way, offer them a double, like, you know.
How's it going, crow?
But, yeah. Other than that, I haven't had any, like, weird situations with birds or anything. Birds have never, like, done anything bad to me. My car even barely gets shit on, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. I've had more trees shit their sap onto my car than I've had bird shit on my car.
Yes, trees are dicks to me.
Trees can be dicks, yeah.
And we do have a podcast about how plants can feel. So,
yeah, so I guess
good
thing my window is closed and the trees can't fucking hear me right now. Although neither can the birds, so we can say whatever we want to. Yeah, I don't think I've had any weird experience with the birds other than I always feel like they're smarter than we give them credit for.
They're way smarter than
they,
they're way smarter, dude.
They're waiting for us to go extinct so they can take over, basically. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
They'll just swoop in, and we've built all the infrastructure already, you know? I guess the whole point of this conspiracy, though, is that the birds themselves aren't even birds anymore. They've been replaced with, like, robots, I guess, essentially, and, like, mechanical...
So, like, completely replaced?
Yeah. Like... So, way back in, let's see, this is all from their website. They have a page called The History that goes over what they say is the history of the birds and how they've come to exist now.
I love it.
So I've kind of taken some notes from that. Basically, there's this guy who works for the CIA whose name is Alan, and he loves the sky and he fucking hates birds. Like, he just does not like birds. And I guess he also loves spying on people because he's with the CIA. So, you know, he takes...
Honestly, same,
he takes all of those hobbies that he has and he combines them into this idea to replace birds with spying machines. I think he is quoted to actually calling pigeons flying slugs and scum of the skies. So there's some real deep-seated issues this guy has with birds.
Holy shit, the shade this man has on birds.
Yeah, so some issues.
His wife? What's happening here?
It doesn't really go into it doesn't really go into too much other detail, actually. So for all we know, that could 100% be what happened.
Yeah, his bitch stolen by a bird. But it was an eagle.
This is
Eagles
the States,
have, like,
right?
the confidence. Like, okay, so if pigeons are, like, the businessmen of birds, eagles are, like head of, like, chief of police, you know? Like, high federal positions.
Yeah.
Like, big secret agents, like they are, like, the big dogs of the business world.
Yeah, well, especially in the States, where, like, if an eagle did fuck his wife, it would probably be illegal for him to come out and say so, because it was, like, an eagle, right? Those are sacred.
Well, and think about it, too. Like, all birds are free, right? Like, the whole premise of, like, because eagles are, like, freedom. But it's like, all birds are free. They all do the same shit. They all eat stuff. They all poop on stuff. And they all fly and shit. So then why just the eagle? I'll tell you why. Because Bakak, motherfucker, he fucking decided so. And so the eagle is self-aware, dude. Eagles know. An eagle stole his bitch. Straight up. Okay. For sure.
That's canon. I'm going to put that in my notes, actually, in parentheses. Hold on. An eagle
stole his bitch.
Cool.
Yeah, 100%.
I might.
That has eagle written all
I
over
might
it.
send that into Peter McIndo and be like, "Yo, dude, I think we've hit on something." Or maybe I'll just send him this whole podcast because we'll probably have lots of really other great ideas to add on to this as we go through
Do you
it.
think that they'll upload it to their website?
we're
t-shirts?
we're propaganda now for it.
Or I said I would non-ironically wear their t-shirts, which I still would, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, not their t-shirts, their sweaters,
Yeah.
the tie-dye sweaters. Yeah. Oh my gosh, chef's kiss, dude. Mwah.
To be fair, I do have a lot of tie-dye materials, and we could easily screen print something onto something we own.
Want that so bad.
Is that pirating merchandise? Is that... We could figure that out.
Fuck it, I'll just make a tie-dye sweater, and all it says on it is vegan cannibal. I'm gonna make vegan cannibal merchandise.
Okay, where the fuck did I leave off? Okay, so this dude had a grudge against birds. But according to the website, between 1959 and 1971, there were 12 billion birds successfully swapped into robot words. Or
12 billion?
Or it says 12 billion birds were killed. So maybe it's more accurate to say they exterminated 12 billion birds. But, like, I assume that they wouldn't just kill them.
But how would you get them all? Like, how would you do that simultaneously? Because hypothetically, if you're going to replace all of the birds, you have to do it in a very short period of time because someone's going to notice when there's no bird sounds or no birds in the sky or nothing. Like,
yes,
we would notice. And so, that has to be done pretty much instantaneously. Like, you need, like, boom, snap, Thanos, all birds are gone, and then release and then you would have to release the fake birds or mechanical birds all over the world basically at the same time too to like refill up the sky, but like not at the same time because then they would all fly out. You have to do it in like waves.
Well, here's the thing.
From different places all over the world. Okay, sorry. Continue.
So I don't actually know if I have that much information going into how they rolled this operation out, but I have a little bit of information into how they got rid of the birds.
Oh no.
It was called Operation...
Of course that's where they go into detail.
Right?
He hates this shit.
Yeah. Well, the guy who wrote the website isn't the one who hates the birds. It's the guy who originally came up with this plan. But honestly, I would not be surprised. Well, I guess...
As if they're different people.
I guess the whole point of birds aren't real is to kind of save the birds, so we have to assume that this Peter McIndo, whatever the fuck, I'm going to say it different every single time. We have to assume that he probably likes birds, but the birds aren't real. We have to help save the birds because they're replacing them with robots, you know? So it's
so it's like a plea of help?
It's like the birds also need help because this is still happening.
Oh,
you know?
He loves the birds.
The conspiracy theory itself was created by this college student, Peter McIndo.
Parker?
Can't confirm. No confirmation on that. All I know is what the internet tells me, which, as we all know, has only the truth on it.
True.
And according to his website, there is a CIA director named Allen who really hated birds. And he was the one...
That's it.
Who kind of thought up this idea and put it into motion to just fucking kill them all and replace them with robots. And these robots could, also spy on people because he was part of the CIA and he loves spying on people. That's like his jam. And also an eagle slept with his wife.
And that's where I said mood. Yeah, and an eagle stole his wife.
And so he has a grudge against that. And
He had to have watched it happen.
I mean, how
because
else?
He loves surveilling people.
Yeah, he probably had cameras everywhere in his house already, And so when she brought home an eagle,
it might have scared him how much he liked it.
Yeah.
And so now he hates birds.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know if this guy's
so
still alive anymore, but that was probably the root of all of it,
Damn.
So then he devised this whole plan because he really fucking hated birds, and they managed to kill a shit ton of them. And the way that they did it, so it was called Operation Water the Country.
Water the country?
Yes. So their method was getting in B-52B aircrafts built in Area 51 that would drop a very specific poison in the air at high altitudes where the birds flew, and it would completely disintegrate their bodies and their bones within 24 hours.
Oh my god, that's brutal. What the hell?
And they just apparently wiped out 15% of the bird population between 1959 and 1965 using this method.
So, you know that, like, gif on Twitter where, like, you're doing, like, a shocked face or whatever, and it's that guy with the dirty blonde hair or whatever that just, like, tilts his head, like, slightly to the right and opens his eyes a little bit, like that shocked face. I just did like 3 of those that just got progressively bigger as you were going through that description.
Yeah. So that was apparently their main operation for getting rid of the birds. And I don't have a lot in my notes about how the birds like themselves mechanically work, I guess. I think later on it talks a little bit about their were facilities. According to this website, the Vietnam War wasn't about whatever you think it's about. Oh. It was actually because the metals that they need to create these birds is in abundance in Vietnam. And because Kennedy was in on it to a certain extent, that's their claim, that the Vietnam War was just a cover-up so that they could get in.
So it wasn't a war of, like, whatever else.
Yeah.
It was a war of birds.
Yeah, but it should be noted that apparently President Kennedy was not initially in on this. He believed that someone involved with the birds replacement project had, I think he stolen his sandwich, and so he hacked into his phone line so that he could get proof of it, and that's how, according to this website, he overheard the plan for the birds not being real. There's a pretty good conversation though posted on the website. It's like the guy that Kennedy suspects of stealing a sandwich, his name was Cleaver. He says, "Yeah, Alan, I've stolen John's lunch again. Haha. He doesn't even know. I'm gonna keep stealing it until he launches a full investigation. Then I'm gonna plant a hidden camera and catch his reaction as I dump all the stolen sandwiches on his desk one at a time. I'm gonna call the new show You've Been Cleavered." And then Alan responds, "Haha, Alvin, that's going to be so funny. We'll have to play that clip at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. By the way, how's the bird slaughter going? How many birds have we killed so far?" And then...
How's the bird slaughter?
And then Cleaver goes, "We've killed about 220 billion so far. And the best thing is, the robot birds we've released in their place have done such a good job, no one even suspects a thing." That is apparently the transcript of the call that they have posted on their website. So, proof that they've killed...
That's really funny. How's the bird slaughter going?
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
What?
Casual conversation.
I love it. I hate it and I love it. Like, I love it because I hate it.
So they essentially disintegrated the birds, got a bunch of this special metal they needed out of Vietnam to make them, and then set up factories. Around 1980, apparently 100,000 birds were being created per day across 22 facilities. One apparently below the Denver airport, which you and I have talked about being a conspiracy.
With the Blue Devil.
Yep, a conspiracy thing before. So, little crossover there. But that's about all the information I have about the actual creation of the birds themselves, I guess. I'm just going to read this right off the website because I feel like it does a good enough job of answering a question, and I don't really want to rehash it in my own words. So there's all these different facilities set up that are building all these birds. And I'll just read this. Now you may be wondering, how did the government get thousands of people to build the birds? And where are they now? Why aren't they testifying in court to the atrocities they were forced to commit? Do they not remember building all those robot birds? Yeah. To sum it up, they were tripping balls.
What?
Basically, it goes on to talk about how essentially all of these people were just drugged the entire time that they were doing all of this.
And just had no idea, or what?
Yep. Apparently there was one whistleblower who, on the website, they call him the Master, which just makes me think of Doctor Who, and I can't get that picture out of my head. He apparently escaped one of the facilities and found someone to give this information to. Some teenager named Clark Griffin, who originally started the actual campaign from the 80s that they talk about on the website. He, apparently held rallies that would get like hundreds or sometimes a couple thousand people. So
really,
I mean, this is just what the website says. I don't think any of this
Yeah, but I want to believe
I don't
it.
think any of
So,
this actually
like,
happened. I want to believe it, right? That is the canon, at least, of this birds aren't real, is that, you know, for a while there was a campaign for it in the 80s and 90s.
That whole thing with the rally of, like, that many people showing up or supposedly showing up, it feels like Arrested Development with Tobias and his Never Nude stuff, where everyone's like, Never Nude's not a thing. And he's like, there's literally dozens of us. That's what I imagine for this birds aren't real thing. Yeah. Where this guy's like, no, there used to be rallies, and there was hundreds, sometimes thousands of people there. He's literally Tobias going, there's literally dozens of us.
It's kind of funny that you kind of bring that up, because apparently the rallies and everything were shut down, I guess, in the 90s.
Too rowdy.
And the last time that the guy who, like, started all this up was seen was in May 6, 1991. And the movement now knows that as Blue Monday. And that even more makes me think of Arrested Development now.
It's the Blue Man Group.
Yeah.
He's Tobias.
Basically, yeah. So there's a couple different things that we've uncovered on this podcast. First and foremost, the CIA guy got duped by an eagle, and that's why he hates birds.
Makes sense. Cocky eagles.
And now the guy who restarted the campaign in the 80s was basically Tobias from Arrested Development. Same person.
Same person. Same energy, dude.
So obviously there's always going to be a problem of the birds not being able to stay in the U.S. because this is mainly a U.S. problem.
Of course.
But the website doesn't really go into if there are ways that they're combating that. And then I have in my notes this is the real purpose of Trump's wall, to keep the birds out, but I don't know if I got that from the website or if I was stoned and I added that onto the end of my notes. So
out? Oh, the real birds out.
Yeah, and keep the fake birds in.
But they would just fly over it. How tall do they think this wall would be? To the heavens? Like,
maybe. I mean, that's how tall Trump would probably want to build it. I have some other little notes from the website. I think they have an FAQ on here too, just little tidbits about the birds themselves and how they work.
Oh, yes, the tidbits.
The eggs that you see are not actual bird eggs, obviously, because robot birds can't have eggs anymore. Bird poop is not actually bird poop. It's apparently liquid tracking apparatus. So if you walk outside and you notice bird poop just happened to fall in your car, just, you might be being tracked by the government. That's all.
So about the eggs.
Yeah.
Eggs aren't real. Then if someone sees eggs, what are they?
I thought I had more written about the eggs, but I don't actually see a lot.
Because if you're telling me that they're the same thing as eggs in the grocery store, that also brings up several questions.
The eggs we see in the 21st century are specifically designed by the government to appear indistinguishable from what eggs once were when birds were real. When the government replaced the species with robotic replicas, it was key that these replicas sustained the same activities that their biological predecessors did, including producing edible eggs. So apparently they have the technology in the government to create edible eggs, and yet for some reason they haven't also
have to pay for it?
Made that into an industry, elsewhere.
Yeah,
that definitely.
Is it that the metal birds are generating them, creating them from themselves?
Honestly,
or
that's
are
what
they
it sounds like.
Stealing other birds' eggs and bringing them over? Because that's free importing, and I'm pretty sure that's illegal. I'm pretty sure that's not according to the North American Free Trade Agreement. They can't just steal our eggs.
That means you can report the government birds for trafficking, basically.
More like will.
Egg trafficking, yeah. I guess. Producing edible eggs is what the thing says. It sounds like they're talking about the robot birds themselves producing eggs, so being able to make eggs regular, which is
why the
some
fuck are they so
future
expensive?
Shit, right? Also, why do we still have
COVID hits different, man.
Farms,
why wouldn't they tell the vegans? They would be so happy. Well, would they? Would vegans, if they knew that all the eggs came from robotic birds, so not even real birds, would they then be okay with eating eggs?
Well,
or do robots, future vegans, are future vegans not going to eat anything made by machine because machines will have AI and therefore have some sentience to them? And even if they said, yes, you can eat my products, that could just be coded into them. They don't have the free will to actually dictate it, so there will be mechano-vegans.
That's honestly very possible and probably should be a discussion we have before we create that technology. So interesting to think about.
If they become mechano-vegans, then that also brings into question, like, what counts as food products made by robots. Are they just ones that have a personality chip built into it versus ones that don't have a personality chip? Because all food that we eat now is already produced by machines. Whether it's through being milled down into flours, etc. It's all produced basically by machines. So in the future, what's going to dictate what's a more human robot versus a less human robot?
I mean, to be fair, I don't know how much difference there is necessarily between a biological machine like a body and a metal machine like if it has sentience in it, if it has a personality, then like our brains are basically computers running our bodies like machines, you know? Like there's a lot of parallels you can make between that shit, and I love reading about all that shit because it's freaky and weird.
Well, and then it pulls into question ethics. Like, how ethical is it for us to be, like, using machines for what we use them for? And, like, do they need to have the capability to say no? And, like, all that kind of stuff. Robot ethics.
I'm excited for it, but I'm also terrified.
Yeah, I'm terrified of the robot upcoming, and I know it's gonna happen. It's already, like, kind of happening. But if robot birds existed, I feel like a lot more, like, not just crimes, but a lot more murders would get solved. Because how many times is there, like, a guy that, like, literally drags a body out into the middle of nowhere and, like, is digging a hole and burying it? Or, like, doing other things. Like, Carol Baskin's husband would have been totally solved if birds were robots. Because do you know how many birds were probably sitting there watching? I mean, hi, look at Carol Baskin's life. You think CIA agents weren't watching that reality TV show on fucking birds if that technology was real? They'd be sitting there every day like, hey, what's she up to?
Okay, here's the thing with Carol Baskins, though. What if they didn't use a robot bird, though? What if they used a robot tiger?
See, so, like, if that technology existed, they would definitely catch more people. Because they would be watching those people's shit show of a life, like, reality TV. I would definitely apply for that job. Are you kidding me? I get to sit there all day and watch people? Fuck yeah.
See, part of me almost wants to say, though, that technically what they're doing is against, like, if you're spying on someone using that way, that is not admissible in court. So if you want to go about charging someone legally with something, you can't use that evidence that you got illegally.
You think that the surveillance birds are also legal? Like, they've been, like, legally progressed?
Well, that, like, no, here's my thing is that I feel like there are definitely some police departments out there that are not above charging people with different crimes just to get them in for something they know they can pin them with, you know? So
they use it as a lure.
Yeah, so you use the bird reconnaissance to confirm the crime and then use sneaky, underhanded means to get them on a different crime, but realistically it's all unethical and bullshit and all that kind of stuff, but you know that's
like much else.
True. If they were ethical about it, yeah, they would just make it de facto legal and just not tell anyone, I guess, and that would be technically more ethical, even though there's still an ethics thing with that. But like there's some hidden robot bird law somewhere that's in the ethos.
Yeah, like I'm still here fighting for robot bird rights. You know what? I know for a fact actually that I would be one of the people that's like robot ethics voucher. I would be 100%. One of those people that's like, we have to treat them like people. If we gave them the ability to feel, then we have to also, like, respect those feelings. Like, I don't know, man. I could see it, dude. I could see myself being a little activist.
That 100% I am with you on that. I would low-key consider myself a transhumanist, because if I lost a limb or something, obviously that would be very traumatic, but at the same time, in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking robot arm. I could get a robot arm, and then I could get different attachments to put on my arm, and then my life would just be easier, right? Like,
yeah, future robot arms are gonna be dope. Like, straight up, future robot limbs are gonna be dope. And, like, already, there's a lot that are, like, physically aesthetic. Like, people that have designed, like, custom limbs and stuff that are just chef's kiss fucking art. And so that's gonna like go into the future too. We're gonna have that kind of stuff in the future. I have often pictured my future self with a robot arm doing cool robot shit.
Dude, that's gonna be us in the future for sure.
Yeah, and like I want robot eyeballs. Like, give them to me. You know what? I say that, and that technology is coming for sure. It has to be.
Oh yeah.
But when that technology comes, I'm gonna be such a pussy about it. I used to be so like into all of that stuff and ready for all that stuff, but as I get older, I'm getting more attached to like not losing body parts. Like I've become like attached that like I don't want to see any go, you know?
It is also like, maybe just that's
fear.
something like with age though, right? Where it's like, well,
it's totally an age complex.
Eventually we're gonna maybe need new limbs just because our old ones are fucked with age. So like,
yeah, don't like that. One of my most crippling fears is existentialism or whatever. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of existential crazy. That one.
I know what you mean.
I have a lot of that. I'll go into like full anxiety attacks if I start really like thinking about the future and existing and how we won't exist or how like, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah. There are definitely times where I'm stoned where I'll get into this mindset that's like, well, okay, there's this theory that I had when I was a teenager. You know, there's this movie While You Were Sleeping. It's a romance one with...
Oh, that's a creepy title for a romance movie. Ew.
Dude, it's kind of a creepy movie. What is the fucking actress's name? I'm gonna look it up super quick so that I just don't call her that actress.
So I don't just call her that actress.
Yeah, I mean, I probably... Sandra Bullock.
Oh, that
Bill
actress.
Pullman. Okay, but it is low-key creepy because the movie is about she works at a train station as like a ticket attendant, and she sees this guy and she thinks he's cute, and then he has an accident and she takes him to the hospital, but for some reason she's mistaken as his fiance and she just goes along with it.
Ooh,
and then when he, like, to the point where when he wakes up from his coma, she keeps going along with it and like pretends to be part of his life. And then the whole movie changes because she falls in real love with his brother. And so, this movie's in the 90s, man. Romance was fucked back then.
I want to watch that so badly. What is it called? While You Were Sleeping?
While You Were Sleeping, yes.
I bet you anything, if you just like took that movie and played like a horror movie soundtrack on top of it or like a suspense movie soundtrack on top of it would turn it into a suspense movie.
It's so creepy.
Isn't that actually the premise of a scary movie? There's this one where like this girl was in a coma or had memory loss or something, came out of the hospital with like her supposed fiance or whatever, goes back to their cabin, she like doesn't remember all this stuff or something, and she asks for her phone. And he says, like, oh, it's in the shop, remember? Or something, and kind of delays it. And then later on, she finds her phone and then realizes that he's, like, fabricated all of this. And he isn't actually her fiance and stuff. I'm pretty sure this is an actual movie. So that romantic comedy is the same premise as a now horror movie.
Changes with the times, I guess.
Wowie.
I think that was from, like, a movie from 1993, too. So, like...
Oh, my God.
Yeah, not even really that long ago. Anyways, what was the point I was saying with that? We were talking about existentialism. I'm not sure.
And then and then we got to that because of robots. Right. Eggs. We were talking about the eggs.
Right.
We're at the eggs part of the FAQ.
Oh, right, we were talking about eggs, but that's all it says. It doesn't say what the eggs are, it doesn't say how they're produced, it just says that the robots produce edible eggs, so I guess that's it. Bird poop is also some sort of liquidated
tracking, that's what it was, right?
Yeah.
Is that why my car doesn't get shit on very often? Because I just don't live a life worth, like, investing any tracking into. They're like, no, she doesn't leave the house, dog. We know where she is. Park one of the old models out there. And let's move on to the next person.
That must be it, because I feel like my car too, My shitty old car that doesn't even work anymore has been parked out there for ages. I go out and it's covered in dust, but there's barely any bird poop, so that means the birds know I just don't go anywhere.
Yeah,
you know?
I just don't leave.
I just don't. Also, interesting to note, meat found in birds is apparently synthetic meat. So basically what this website is saying is they've just taken, it's like Westworld, where they've just created a synthetic meat being, but it's actually also a robot that can spy on you.
So again, same kind of thing with the eggs, future vegans, blah, blah, blah. But current vegans, man, if they release this information or some of this technology they supposedly have, like, vegans would have it so good they'd be able to eat everything they think they can't, basically. They'd be able to eat, like, all birds, dude. Do you know how much time that would save them from fake chicken and shit?
All right, what should I get into next? Let's see, because I think that's pretty much all of the information about the birds itself. It doesn't really look like there's information about if other governments have done this. It's really only the US.
That they know of.
I mean, yeah, that's very true. The only information that I can find is really primarily on this website. So yeah, so that's the general conspiracy, is that any of the birds that you see pretty much, I guess if you live in anywhere outside of the US, maybe it's not a big deal. We are Canadian, so maybe we are less affected, I guess, by spy birds. But
yeah, true.
Considering this started, according to them, in the 60s, there's no way that there are not birds up in Canada that aren't spying on us, Someone out there would find that useful for sure.
Honestly, I know people that do crazy things and stuff to avoid being seen by cameras. But, listen, man, I use the internet so much. If someone wanted something, pictures of me are already out there. And it's not like the cameras are pointed into my house or something. As soon as I leave my house, that's not my house. It's public. As long as they don't see me in the bathroom, that's okay.
Well, I think that's the thing, right? It's we have been conditioned to the internet where if it's on the internet, it's there and someone can just find it. I think that there is a similar thing that kind of works with going out into public, where if you go out into public, you don't fucking know who's going to be watching and what's going to be going on. So you kind of have to just take it as it is, And I know that there's the CCTV that they have in the UK and things like that has been around there for a while. And it is useful for solving crime and things like that. I'm more worried about the things that's on our devices that we bring into our homes more so than the shit that's going on outside, That was kind of my part one of what I have. Is this is the basis of the conspiracy. And
okay.
And just in general, the basis for not to trust birds, because in general they can kind of be dicks sometimes, as we learned by crow tracks. They can kind of be dicks,
but not to me. Crows are great to me, so I still stand them.
Thank you so much for listening to part 1 of Are Birds Real? Are they not real? Are they robots spying on us? Doesn't matter. Who knows? We're still figuring that out. We will probably finish figuring that out in part 2. This part's coming out on the, hopefully, 18th of October, assuming I can actually finish editing this on time. Part 2 will be coming out on the 29th, which is a Thursday. So back to our usual regular schedule. I appreciate everyone who is listening for bearing with us during our teeny little hiatus there. This is a very casual podcast project, so if things come up in our real life, like changing jobs or changing hours or things like that, then we might end up taking little hiatuses. I usually try and update everything on my website, which is Circeanic.home.blog, so if you are interested in keeping up with podcast updates, that's probably the best place to do so, because we're not 100% on social media on our accounts yet. So, okay, I think that's everything. As always, thanks for listening. and have a great rest of your week. October. Happy Halloween. Okay, goodbye.